What's up, guys? Welcome back to another K-pop news story. Of course, as the title says, we're covering the whole thing going on with T-Ara right now and their comeback and their contracts and all of that kind of stuff. And we're gonna get into some detail, give you the details on what that is, and then of course I will share my thoughts and opinions on the situation as a whole. So if that is something that you're interested in, my honest thoughts and opinions, as well as the presentation of the facts as I know them to the best of my ability, then click on the subscribe button down below, because I do these basically the same way that I would with my music video reactions or coverage of brand new Korean music. So let's get into the story, the news, because that's what everyone is here for. So I'm not going to delay you too much longer. So basically, if you've been following, if you knew, T-Ara was scheduled for a comeback in May. I think it was the middle of May. So it was supposed to be, I don't remember what month that we were even in, so I'm horrible. But soonish, right? It was supposed to be like imminent. They were working on it. It was gonna, whatever. And so now it's being delayed. And the reason that that is being delayed is, as MBK Entertainment has said, is that Soyeon and Boram, who are the members who have whose contracts are ending on May 15th, I guess they couldn't renegotiate a contract so that they could, continue promotions with the group, or they just flat out said, we're not going to, or we don't want to re-sign a contract. It depends on the way on who you listen to, because the fans are saying like MBK is doing whatever they can to make them look bad, and MBK is like, well, it's kind of their fault because they didn't want to participate. So, as a result, MBK is like, we cannot use their parts because, they're not going to be a part of the promotions. So we have to re-record, redo everything else. And so then they will promote and release their comeback as for coming up in the next month or so. However long it takes them to reproduce and reschedule everything. So that is very, very, very unfortunate. And like I said, depending on who you listen to, and who you believe, if you're believing what the company says, or if you're listening to what the company says and you're listening to what some of the fans are saying, the fans of T-Ara are saying, it's a little messy. It's a little teeny tiny messy, because of course, fans are saying like the members of T-Ara are subtly, although overtly, saying like the company are snakes, they're liars, they are full of crap, and they're trying to make us out to be worse than we actually are. Like, of course, because members of T-Ara are not terrible at all. I guess in the fans' eyes, that's the way it goes. And they're like, just do not trust MBK and the CEO of that company and all of that stuff, because they're deceitful liars, and they're only out for themselves, and with the whole thing basically being trust in T-Ara, right, which is cool, man. I mean, like, and from what I've seen and heard, like, as a fan, I don't really have any reason not to trust T-Ara or anybody else. MBK Entertainment has kind of a reputation being a pretty shady company that they've developed over the years. So that definitely does not help them out with, any sort of positive perception as to what they're saying. But on the other hand, there is kind of the thing where MBK has kind of said and hinted and suggested that, they were having, good solid contract negotiations and stuff like that, talks with Soyeon and Boram coming up, leading up to this comeback. And then all of a sudden they were like, we don't want to talk, we don't want to work with you. And so they've just kind of, shot this upcoming comeback, well, not dead because it's still alive, but it's going to come back later. So, it's a bit of a mess, depending on how depending on how you want to look at it and who you want to, listen to. And like, I honestly would say that there's probably truth to be had in both instances, where of course the members are like, we want to be together, we want to do all of this as T-Ara, as six, and we want to work together and stuff like that. But at the same time, you got to look out for your own personal best interest. And if re-signing a contract with MBK for whatever the terms are that you're talking about, that are on the table currently, is not in your best interest, then like, I don't think you have any obligation to put the group above yourself. And just like, well, we have a comeback coming up, we got to do it for the fans, we got to do it because we're a tight-knit group. It just isn't the way that it works. It's like, you got to look out for yourself at the end of the day. So I wouldn't blame them for saying like, sorry, MBK, you can go screw yourself. I don't care about your upcoming comeback. We'll go do whatever it is that we want to do for the time being. And here's kind of the key thing that I think, the key detail that kind of I think is very, very important to keep into consideration, is that I do believe that the rest of the members' contracts expire at the end of this year. So it is very possible that Soyeon and Boram could just be like, we're not going to re-sign with you, because presumably that would be like a multi-year contract. The very least is not going to be a 9-month, 7-month contract that they sign. So they'll be stuck with the company for a little while unless they want to file a lawsuit to break their contract for whatever reason. Whereas the other members are free to be like, at the end of the year, don't want to sign, screw you, MBK, we're going to go do our own thing. So I think very well could be the likely thing that's going to happen here, from everything that I've heard and all of the picture that's being painted by fans, on the internet and stuff like that, is that, I'm being led to believe that the 2 members here are not going to sign contracts. They're going to leave the group. And then when the rest of the members' contracts are up for renegotiation, they're not going to renew their contracts. And then T-Ara will reform with like a different company or their own company or something like that. And they will promote together, as a group once again. Maybe possibly not under the name of T-Ara, because I think that might be owned, the name and the brand and all that stuff might be owned by MBK. I don't know specifically, but I do think that it seems likely that coming up in 2018, possibly we'll see the members of T-Ara, the 6 members of T-Ara that are, that make up the current lineup, reform as a different group under a different company, something like that, coming up in the very near future. That is what I see. That is what I feel is, on the table right now. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I think fans of T-Ara are going to be just like shouting for joy, jumping for joy, just super crazy happy about it, if that is actually what turns out to happen in the next, 365 days, because that would mean that they're away from MBK, who, by all accounts, just like basically couldn't handle T-Ara when they were at their height and kind of ruined them to a certain extent. And then we're just horrible management and, basically sneaky and deceitful. And so, I think the fans will take that really, really well if that is the outcome, because that is, I think, the best possible outcome. The worst possible outcome is just the group ceases to exist, all in all. And that would be kind of a sad thing, because, this is, yet another group from from that era in K-pop where a lot of current fans are and formed a lot of their early memories in K-pop. So it's going to be a pretty significant and sad kind of blow for a lot of fans to lose this group from the K-pop scene, if that actually is what ends up happening at the end of the day. So that's all I got to say. That's the little summary of this little piece of news, and of course my thoughts and opinions on the situation. So I don't know. I want to hear what you guys thought about this situation. What do you think is going to happen with T-Ara in the future? If there are any details about this that I missed, then please be free to feel free to drop them down in the comments below, because it could be something that is very, very important and could change the entire I guess my perception of what is going on, also yours as well. So let's discuss it. Drop relevant information and all that stuff down in the comments below, right? Because this community is all about having some discussion on the topics at hand, whether that's news or video news or new music. That's what we're all about. Friendly discussion. We're being respectful of our opinions, of others' opinions, whether we agree or disagree with them. That is what it is all about. So if that is a community that you are interested in, please consider clicking on the subscribe button right down below to join, and of course become a part of the discussion at some point in the future. So that is going to be it for this video. As always, I want to thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time.